If I die tomorrow, I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
That track is always fire when it plays.
We just need the 4th of July clips in there. We just need that little
man.
And it'll be great is that when Book of Boba Fett comes back, I'm sure Lou will be coming back on the show. He's the resident Star Wars expert now.
I almost want Lou to like have a slight little bit of him saying it in the intro. That'd be dope.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Well, I gotta give a shout out to Lou because for Halloween he did something awesome for his kids. He made them proton packs from scratch for Halloween. So Lou, again, shout out to you, brother. Again, doing it, keeping it real, bro. And thank you again for the track. If you guys have not heard it, again, go check out Lou Seif. Awesome rapper. Put together what we call grown folk rap, and he put together that track for us. But again, this is your boy Sebastian.
It's your boy Law.
And your boy Tone from across the hall.
The nerds are back. It's
Tuesday. It's Tuesday, my dudes.
It's Nerds Night.
We gotta
do this.
Well, we got an awesome show.
What are you trying? What are you doing?
You're a mess. You're a mess.
I'm a mess, man. Listen.
You're a mess.
Listen, I work here. I podcast
together,
here.
Man.
I play video games here, man. It's an all-in-3-1 situation I got going on here.
Same.
So, it is what it is.
Anyway, let's get through these announcements. So first, guys. So we got a couple more creator series coming out. We got 5 more creator series episodes coming out. What's up, Pong? The next creator series that's coming out is going to be Diane Aragon. And also, too, if you guys haven't seen it, the Tusano company, we did theirs. That dropped. That's been doing well and everything. So make sure to go check it out. If you need some stuff for the holidays,
I got to meet Atlas in person the other day.
That's awesome.
He took a journey.
He did,
bro. I'm jealous. He could have took a detour.
He could have, but that would have been way out of the way.
If he was going south,
he had to drive to Michigan.
But he was going north. It wasn't worth it. It's all right. It's all
next
right.
time.
Yeah.
Also, too, we got to give a shout out to the D&D podcast, Medusa's Cascade, every Saturday. If you love D&D, you just want to hear a bunch of players playing D&D, you just want to hear a bunch of shenanigans in D&D, listen to the Medusa's Cascade podcast. That's like over 50 plus episodes.
If y'all haven't caught up, shit went down in the last episode, y'all. Much chaos.
Shit always goes down.
It is always peak chaos, but I think like this reached new highs. I spent the most of the episode listening, going, Tommy, is this really happening?
Oh, because we're at the point where we've been doing earmuffs.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh man, if y'all haven't catch it, please. It's so good.
Yes.
And we love all those who are supported. Also, too, final update. Last week, and I'm gonna let you guys know again, go there again to Michael Gracia's channel, getting soon. Michael Gracia got to go to D23. And he got to see some awesome stuff. He talked about it on his channel. So please go over to Michael Gracia's channel. The video is there. Go watch it on demand. Just want to give a shout out to Michael Gracia because again, he got to go on there. He shared some of the stuff with me with D23, which we're gonna get to share later tonight with Hawkeye, because he got to see it early, and he also got to see Encanto, which he got to talk about a little bit, not too much, but again, he talked about what he enjoyed about it. So if you guys want to learn what's coming out from Disney, definitely go over to Michael Gracia's channel. Now, without further ado, we have 2 great guests in the back that are coming to talk about an awesome comic called Roundhouse Hooligans. I kind of love this issue. Reading this book, and I'm like, I need more, and I need this to be a show.
They were just like, here, have enough to wet the palate.
Yeah,
that was wrong.
They
know what they did.
Definitely classic cliffhanger at the end of issue 1. Everything that we've heard from comic book school talking about how to write a comic and how to get the hook in there, they definitely did that multiple times throughout those odd number pages. There were cliffhangers, and then I had to scroll down to see what was going to happen next. So very excited for the future of this comic.
And what's cool is this: before they come in, they also gave us a quick preview. You guys ready?
Oh, word. Yes, let's do this.
Let's go. coming in all the way from Australia.
So
We want to give
good.
it up for LA Keim and Brian Kerr. What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Welcome.
Also,
Thank
I
you.
love the lighting. Just wanted to put that out there. Love the lighting in there.
Yeah. So we're just trying to show that we're not just sitting in my lounge room right now. Trying to make we're doing our best to look cool, man. We're not doing a very good job at it.
Very
Listen.
Hawkeye colors.
You guys are doing good. Well, yeah, because usually our homeboy George, he's usually sitting in the closet doing these interviews.
Yo, for real.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
In the closet, his internet's sucky. You know, it's the whole nine, man. I don't know what's going on.
So give us the story of how you guys got together, and also too what led to the inspiration for Roundhouse Hooligans. Please jump into that.
You want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
Yeah. So I started like loving making stories. After Jurassic, I've only seen Jurassic Park as a kid. It was like my favorite movie ever. And after that, I wanted to write stories. And I started in film for a little while doing scripts. And in Australia, we don't have a big film industry, so we kind of like all my stories were just not made for Australia. They needed a production budget.
Yeah.
So I turned to writing comics, and then I kind of fell in love with comics from there. And then I met Brian when I went through a transition with the company. And Brian came on, and Roundhouse Hooligans actually came. It's hard to say where it came from. Very hard to say. I can't really pinpoint a time. But I always wanted to have a story of a family bond sort of thing, that like we're all connected and they all respected each other. So it was about family more than anything else, and a community. But then also I wanted to put some action in it and some romance and make it interesting. So,
But where we met was, so Lucas was working on another comic at the time. I was working with a friend at a little local store selling old retro comics. He's rocked up there with some posters and billboards and he's like, "Can you sell my stuff, or can I hang my shit up in here?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, that's cool shit, man." And because I've never met a local who was like, well, not just into comics that much, but actually like trying to make one. And from there, we just caught up, had a couple of drinks, we talk shit, talk movies, talk comics, talk writing, and it just kind of took off from there. Yeah.
I regret to put this up. I regret to put up the. That's what it's important.
Oh no, family.
Oh man, that's awesome though. Like, what is the comic book scene down in Australia like for us that like would have no idea or any sense of it?
Well, it's definitely not as big as where you are, but it's like pretty strong. It's still got like a pretty solid community here. It's just. I just don't think it's as vocal, as big, like the events that they hold, are just nowhere near on the same scale as what's happening overseas.
yeah.
Listen, there's too many events over here. That's all I gotta say. Is it's too many.
Yeah.
You can't catch up
It
with
might
them.
be a benefit that there's not as many for you guys because over here it's just oversaturated. There's 15 shows happening every weekend. Oh.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We might get like 2 a year. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and even just that, like even in the city, like the idea of someone just kind of walking in and saying, "Hey, here's my comic. You don't even know me from a hole in the wall," and like making that connection is probably totally harder to do in the city because you just don't know where you guys just kind of meet each other and it's like, well, how many times is this going to happen to me? So let me talk and let's see where this comes from. And you guys come together and create this. And my question for you guys, so like reading your press kit and your whole idea is building comics to represent people in an industry that it's lacking. Is that something that you noticed overall in the comics, like throughout the world, or is that something you're noticing more so in the Australian indie comic world?
Throughout the world, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
We definitely want to push some boundaries, but not push boundaries just for the sake of pushing boundaries, but push boundaries in a meaningful way kind of thing. So we do have a lot of adult content, as you can see, in Roundhouse Hooligans, and that will continue on, but we don't want to push it just for the hell of, pushing pornographic images. That's not what we're about. There's that kind of stuff, and we do want to show you things that people haven't seen yet in comics. So that's really what we're all about. So yeah, opening up people's eyes to different types of things would be really cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I definitely got I'm gonna tell you guys now. I'm waiting for Netflix to give you guys a deal to develop this into a show. So really got that vibe right there.
It would be wild for sure.
It actually started off as a TV series script. So
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
You're ahead of the industry already, man.
Think of this as like a really expensive storyboard.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
But again, I want to let people know out there, you guys really set the pace of this world that you created in Roundhouse Hooligans in the very beginning. And again, I just that opening alone. But it sets up the backstory for Torrance. So creating the scene, how many drafts did you guys go through before settling on this opening for Roundhouse Hooligans?
So, yeah. So we actually start off before I met Brian. I was already in production with Roundhouse Hooligans with another artist, and we had the whole first issue was actually done.
There he is.
I went through some life changes and transitions, and I was like, I think this story could be a lot deeper and have more depth to it. So I kind of went back and wrote it in a more mature kind of way. And then we got, okay, so now it's more mature. We need a different artist to come on board who can really push this forward. So, yeah, so it was a while. That was like a few years ago now. So it's gone through a lot. And that opening scene was really hard. I had to cut a lot out because in the TV series, it went for so much longer than the actual comic book, which as it does. But yeah, there's been a few drafts. I can't pitch how many, but
sometimes there's like a fresh draft a week before it's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's like it just.
And then even when text gets sent back to us, ready to text, we go through and we change text and stuff. And we change wording and yeah. So I know we're very picky and we're perfectionists. So
Which is good.
Which is a good bad thing. Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. For these characters, like, where are you drawing the inspiration? Because like a lot of these characters, from the immediate get-go, you get the sense of who they are, like what they're about, who like, and all that. Like, where did you pull that? Was there like particular, I guess, like characteristic for each that you wanted to embody for them to make them so distinct?
Not really. I knew I wanted Torrance to be a powerful female character, but not to just stake it being a powerful female character. I wanted to have like a lot of depth to her and backstory to her. And you'll find out later on, she's not all that perfect. She's got a lot of problems with her. So that was very important to like create a character who comes off as very confident and very cocky. But then you have this backstory. It's like, okay, you know, she's got problems with her. So that was very important to me. Duke, I just want him to be a great, powerful character. He's the leader of the bunch. I want him to be, you know, fun, very lovable. Yeah, so I kind of like stories like, if I was in this group, who would I want in this group? Like, if I was around Hooligans, like, these are kinds of friends I'd want to have this group. And
right.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it, as more of like, you know, if I had this perfect Roundhouse Hooligans like gang, you know, who would be my friends and what would I want them to be? That's how I looked at it, more than taking characteristics from actors or characters from other stories. So yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, very, very much a family you choose. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
From them, and you know, and to your point with Torrance and her struggles and everything, because you do get that she's very much who she is, and you do get that outwardly confidence. But then from the backstory from the previous, you wonder, okay, there was 2 kids. She was the oldest. Like, where's her sister? What's going on? And knowing that that's, you know, most likely I would assume is a pivotal plot point for her throughout whatever X amount of issues you're going to do before she finds her, and seeing where that journey is going to take her, and her dealing with the fact that they were separated. And we get little bits of that in issue 1. And then with the revelation of what they find at the house, and with the camcorder and who's still at the house there waiting for them.
Oh, who knows?
Who knows? Dude, we got to get issue 2. Then we'll find out.
Yeah.
Dude, I really just have to leave a comment there. You like with that scene at the end of the comic, it definitely gave me like that vibe from when you saw the movie 7. It's like, what's in the box? Dude, you had me right there like that.
Yeah.
But
dude, definitely gotta link you guys up with Catch the Craze to jump on their podcast for sure. Much love to the Catch the Craze podcast team. We love you guys. Miss you guys.
But also, too, you guys linked up with some awesome artists to get that vision out there for you guys. So how was it to see that your vision went from words to actual like pictures in sequential art. What was that feeling when you started to see the work? And I'm gonna just bring up some of it here.
I'd say life changing. Like to see all the hard work as you as a writer put into it, and then to see an artist like Riccardo Ficini just bring so much talent to the team, is amazing. And we don't have to give him too much concept. He just can pick it and he knows exactly where to go with it. It's such a good feeling to see just words come to life on page and then have the colors come in. And we did give a lot of concept for it. But they probably could have done it without the concept, and we really let them have their own freedom for it. We want them to show their talents and have their own freedom. But some scenes, obviously, I do a lot of concept for it. So I use 3D models and 3D scenes, and I put them in. Cool. The sex scene with Violet and Duke, that was all done by 3D models and scenes, because I wanted to look. If I thought as though it'd come across too sexual, so I wanted to be more classy. So I was like, this has to be this way. I don't want to come across anything else but this. So
it's meant to be more intimate. It's not meant to be
no, it felt when I was going through it, I mean, I had it on my big screen and my kids are right there, so I was like, oh shit, so I had to turn my screen a bit because whatever, violence, whatever, right? So but no, it felt authentic. It felt like it felt like it belonged there. It didn't feel out of place. It felt exactly this is the world that you're trying to build, and you were keeping this story grounded. These are humans, these are people, they have love, they have loss, and you're showcasing that. And they all live together. So the riffs of hearing beyond the walls, it all comes together. It all makes sense. It was
Riccardo is amazing. The way he's interpreted the words and just his the way he uses panels in some shots. It's just we couldn't have thought of it. So it's great that he's come on board and he's been able to just add another dynamic to the story of Roundhouse Hooligans, just to help it breathe more life into it.
Yeah, he definitely, because I'm loving the actions, the sequences here, and it's just it's beautiful. He moves your eye beautifully, and again, the story just really flows with everything right there. But I gotta ask, what was the inspiration for Richard? Because I fucking hate him. I do not like Richard.
I feel like that was definitely a deliberate choice.
That's a good thing.
Exactly.
Richard, I wanted him to be. I did want him to be I wanted people to hate him, but at the same time, I wanted people to kind of love him. It's like a love-hate kind of relationship.
Okay. You love to hate him.
Yeah, I can't give away too much of him, but he does make a return. I'll say that much. You'll see him again down the track.
Richard will be back.
Richard will return, more hateable than ever. I just wanted to have fun with Richard, a lot of fun, and with the whole gang, the whole bikie gang, I wanted to have fun with them. You can see a little bit backstory between the father and the bikie gang.
Yeah,
it's not told what kind of backstory there is. We'll see that down the track, hopefully. But yeah, I really want to show there was a bond between the two of them. It might have been pretty strong, but obviously got cut in half for some reason. And Richard's back, and he kind of not so much angry, but feels neglected. More so that you're like my brother sort of thing. You left, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's where I went with Richard. So yeah, dude, I like to have fun. We like to have fun with villains. Villains
it's
are
a very Spike and Vicious relationship for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, villains are the most fun to write. They so much,
They surprisingly are. Absolutely. So you said you wrote this like a TV script. How much of this has been translated to the comic book series and run, and how far does that go? Where does that? Is there a end game point that you already have mapped out?
Yeah, I've read. So last issue's been written. The last few issues have been written.
Wow.
I've pretty much written the whole thing. Right now, I'm just going through. I'm just cutting out bits to make it a bit shorter. I know there's a lot of stuff in there because it came from a film script that I still need to cut down, so it's perfecting it, sort of thing.
Like a 20-page fight screen.
25 page screens. Work.
It's a lot of sound effects.
It's one issue of fight, which would get boring after a while, but it looked good as a TV series, but didn't work as a comic book. Yeah. So yeah, we're cutting them out, and right now I just finished issue 11.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
yeah, just finished issue 11.
Awesome.
It does have an ending. I know how it ends, and it's a fucking awesome ending.
With everything we've done, like we like to know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of not going for that standard superhero. Let's just let this run forever. Like there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to every story.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'd rather get there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, like we have other projects we want to put out there. Roundhouse Hooligans was a flagship series, and I think it's a great flagship series. It kind of introduces our company in a really good way, and then and then we want that to keep on going as we put out other projects that are a bit smaller, or not small in a way, but like just smaller runs. They won't be as big as a story, sort of thing. So yeah.
So this is go ahead, Tom. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Like, so, this being your flagship project, what's cool too is that you're doing mature content. You're doing content that's kind of like all aspects of it. So, you're not pigeonholing your company in a specific way of the type of books you'll be writing. Right.
Oh, no way.
So like we've definitely seen that before where like you start with a specific topic, and it's when you start going against the grain where people are like, I didn't even know you can do that. Where you guys are coming out like we can do it all. Like
I can tell you right now,
the next couple of
we're in production for our second book, which is psychological thriller. Much darker than Roundhouse Hooligans, if you can get much darker in that.
Wow. Okay.
It's we just actually did a read through of that before we went on here, because we just love the story so much, and that was a villain scene that was just amazing to read through.
And then the third one.
The third one is going to be a post-apocalyptic sci-fi drama. Yeah, so that's a
very nice.
It is all the genres we can possibly hit, and then we might put a kids' book in the end. So who knows?
Oh, we're gonna have fun talking in the green room after the show.
Let me just go take it right down and put a kids series out. Just
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here for it. We also have a audience question. When formulating the story, did you start from the beginning or did you start from the end?
From the beginning, definitely from the beginning. Yeah, I started from the beginning with the story. Had to. Yeah, that opening scene really pushed the rest of the story. That opening scene actually went for a whole lot longer in the series. But yeah, I started with the beginning for sure. Yeah, always start with the beginning. I feel, and then do the end, and then then do the middle bit. That's my writing style anyway.
So beginning and middle.
Beginning and then I go back to the middle. I just
you kind of figure out the journey.
Yeah.
So you know where the journey ends. You know where the journey begins, but you want to figure out all that stuff in the middle, which is the fun part.
Yeah. And sometimes when when I was running Roundhouse Hooligans, I actually didn't know a lot of the parts where it was going. So some of the scenes to me, I was like, I'm really doing that. I'm going to do that. Should I do that?
You're surprised as
anything. Yeah, I was surprised because I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. What? Yeah, I'll do it.
Lucas would give me a call in the middle of the night. Such and such is dead. I'm like, and he's like, I know, right? Like, murdered. Why are you surprised? He's like, came out of nowhere.
Oh, I gotta ask this question because there was comic artist who's my mentor, Scott Barnett and Jeff Marzick. They did a book called Dead Man's Party, and one of the things was that they were incorporating people like putting in there like, oh, we're gonna kill you off in this issue. Have you guys ever thought about like, okay, I'm gonna put a friend in this comic just as a joke, and we're gonna just kill him off here?
For the next project, we've hit up quite a few friends to just use their features, their face, not necessarily their personality, maybe a couple, but 9 out of 10 times the conversations, hey, can we use your likeness for a comic?
And
like,
oh,
fuck yeah. And we're like, you're probably going to die in a horrible way. And most of them are like, they're like, fuck yeah.
Sign me up.
We didn't put ourselves in the books. Like, there's a scene there. I was like, me and Brian, we're in this scene. This is our little kind of scene. It's like might be 1 or 2 pages long. but we're gonna die, and just like Stanley.
We're gonna find a way
Stanley
to kill
in his
ourselves
movies,
off
it's
in every
great,
book.
Just off you in every
what
comic.
are
I love
friends
it.
for other than to
Yeah.
put themselves in their comics and kill them off immediately?
Yeah.
I love it. Again,
Yeah.
so I just want to let everyone know who's watching. The link is definitely there to purchase the comic from Comixology.
It's out now.
It's out now. It's called Roundhouse Hooligans. You definitely want to get this comic and add it into your collection and continue to follow Freefall Comics and their journey and the issues that they're going to put out there too. Again, when you Lucas, when you reached out to me and sent this, and when you guys were sending me stuff online and looking at it, I'm like, dude, it was just like scratching like this. I'm like, oh, I want to talk to these guys now. This book is so awesome. Oh my god, thank you guys for sharing this.
Definitely a fun one. Definitely a fun one.
Yeah.
means a lot. People love it. Yeah. So
before we wrap on you guys, can you tell us a little bit about Freefall Comics? Tell us about the company, like what you guys got going. How'd you guys form? Like, is it just you guys, or is it like a whole big old team, that kind of thing?
We're the writers, the co-owners, I guess, co-owner of what? Nothing quite yet. Always have an idea, and then we source and find very, very talented artists and colorists, and people to do our text. And so I guess the company's kind of growing that way. But it's how we formed. It was just a chance at a store one day in Redcliffe, and caught up from there. And Lucas was working on another script, gave it to me, asked me to have a read over that. I gave him some ideas, some honest feedback. He really liked it. And then over the course of like a couple of months, he was like, this is really starting to work out. We're really seem to be clicking well and on the same page. Like, what do you think about doing this full time with me? I'm like, let's do it. As for who Freefall Comics is, it's like,
we're a company that likes to push the envelope. We're always going to do that. We're always going to keep on trying to change the game, I guess. We really want to stand out in the industry as people like, holy crap, these guys take a lot of risks, and it works.
And like you said, we don't want to be pigeonholed, which is why, I mean, honestly, it kind of happened by accident when we were even joking around the other day about our first 3 projects going, we've got this
Grindhouse style story.
Like this punk drama. And I'm like, we're following that up with a completely different style of art, different style of writing, a psychological horror. That's kind of both sometimes. And then going like full sci-fi. And we just kind of, I don't know, I just see each project as being its own unique thing, separate from whatever's come before it. But hopefully we just keep getting better and better at what we're doing.
What we do try to create a world. So you'll see like scenes where like a character in Roundhouse Hooligans might be reading another book from us in the scene or in the panel. And that, there's little bits and pieces that will tie together, even though it's not the same world, but it's the same sort of company. And you'll see them come to light. Like we even promote our second book through Roundhouse Hooligans, like big poster coming soon. So, there it is. And just in the background, that little background, like, because we can do what I want. It's our story.
I mean, you'll never know it until, a year or two later when that comes out. But it's like, go back, find all the small details.
Your own projects.
Little constant breadcrumbs we were leaving along the way.
Yeah, when you guys eventually make it out to the States over here near Comic-Con, definitely going to hit up your table. Definitely going to be like, okay, shut up, take my money. Here you go. Yeah. Give me all your content. And we're definitely going for drinks after.
I'm telling you. The lighting is always mint on you guys.
So now we're getting into our next part. So guys, again, this is Liam. This is Lucas and Brian from Freefall Comics. Make sure you guys, after the show, definitely check out the link for Freefall Comics, Roundhouse Hooligans. Pick up the book. Add it to your collection. You want to have it there. You want to continue to support Freefall Comics because they're going to, again, come out with more content that's just going to blow your guys' minds away. Because I want to get the physical copy now. Just excited. Thank you, guys.
We actually just found a way to get a test print done. We can say that now. So as soon as test print's done, we're ready to go to a Kickstarter, and it will be out in 2022.
Sweet.
You guys heard it here first.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But now it's the next phase because we're going to go back to the again, Free Fall Hooligans and do the plug at the end. But now we're on our next phase. We Marvel just came out with something new. So Tone, please take it away.
Yes. It's the MCU's version of Die Hard.
George, I hope you're here for it.
We are talking tonight about not one, but 2 episodes of Hawkeye. We were truly blessed, and we were given 2 episodes before Thanksgiving. We will be talking episode 1, Never Meet Your Heroes, and episode 2, Hide and Seek. There will be spoilers. We'll be talking about everything. Tony Stark has died. This thing opens up with Avengers 1 in 2012 to make it all come together. And at the end of episode 2, we get Echo. Is she the daughter of the Kingpin? Is Vincent D'Onofrio reprising his role? Is he going to smash someone's head into a fucking door? I don't know. I hope so. We have 6 episodes left, and we are ready to talk about it. Let's go.
So I want to dive into this, and I want to dive into this. This has been the biggest question of the show, of the Hawkeye series that just happened, man. It's mind-boggling that this happened. Captain America, the musical. So we're going to start with Free Fall Comics to tackle that. How did you feel about Captain America, the musical?
I fucking loved it.
I'd buy tickets. I'd see that.
I love it.
It would 100, like, tell me that wouldn't actually happen. Yeah. It would.
They did a whole production. It's literally set across the street from the Hamilton Theater. Yeah. Disney Plus bought the rights to Hamilton. They have the rights to Marvel. I say they just throw it on Disney Plus like they did with Hamilton and give us this musical. I don't see why. They've already done one scene, you know?
Then tour to Australia so we can go see it.
There you go.
I feel like that's a project you just let the fans write, and I guarantee it'll be done by like tomorrow. Like,
when you opened up on that, I was fucking laughing. I just thought it was just a great scene. Yeah, I loved it.
It showcased Hawkeye's character a lot more too, as he's looking. He's like, "Yeah, Ant-Man wasn't there." It was like, "Wait, but they fucked with time travel real quick."
Yeah.
Well, but it's that, and it's also like what he's going through, and like the idea of focusing and seeing the actress play Natasha dancing around, and that really just hyper focuses what he's lost. You know, like they're making a musical of a tragic event of 2012, and it's not that far removed. So this is taking place in 2022, 23. It was about 10 years ago. And so it still hits home about what happened and
it's not that far from where the musical is. Like, literally it's blocks away.
And he's a person, he's a human, you know, he's like the most human of all the Avengers. And just, he's dealt with I would say some of the most loss of the other ones. And so kind of just seeing it all just be trivialized in Broadway is a lot.
I love it how they show the toll that the whole series had on Hawkeye. It definitely has toll on him as just being a basic human who's the underdog. And he does that so well of showing that. Like, it's just amazing to see, like, oh, he's really been through some shit. It's like,
I love Renner. He's so good, so dry, so great.
Yes.
He's awesome.
Also, when he's in the theater and he has his his hearing aids off. You immediately is like, I'm here for the kids, and the kids want to go see this, but I've been there. I don't want to hear this all over again. I don't want to experience it as much as I am. So I'm just gonna tune out. I love that.
But yeah, I want you guys to tackle this. I mean, it was really interesting because they showcase now he has a hearing aid, and they're like, "Well, how do you get a hearing aid?" And then the battle montage. How did you guys feel about that?
I was wondering how that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's cool. So how'd it happen?
Not sure. Hazard of the job.
Yeah. And it would happen too, which is great. They actually put it in there. It's like, that happened. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're only human, dude. You're a human.
If it was gonna happen to any one of them, it was gonna be him.
It's also like a callback to Ultron when he gets shot. And they make like the big to do, like he needs to get the skin graft because like he's the only he's the non. I mean, him and Black Widow are the only non. Black Widow knows how to dodge everything. Like Renner's just getting his ass kicked all the time. You know,
she feels superhuman.
He feels superhuman.
They looks superhuman. The Red Room is a little bit superhuman-ish.
You feel like there's some sort of enhancement that's happened. Yeah, but.
Yeah,
I love Hawkeye more than ever now. Like, this series has just done so well to just remind everyone he's human. He's got a wife and kids. I'm not saving the world. I'm like, I got to do this, and I got to fucking get groceries on the way home, and I got to like pick up kids from school.
I got shit I got to do.
Thought process during any one battle.
It's nice.
It's going to have so much more going on. Like,
it's nice to see human side.
Yeah.
Just feel like he's got more on his plate than anyone else. It's like.
Yeah, he does. I mean, even Tony has Pepper, but Pepper runs a fucking multi-billion-dollar company. Like he's got a farm. Like he's.
Oh man!
I also love that his wife is so down for whatever. Like,
because she's Velma, bro. That's why.
Yeah. She's very accepting.
She's the epitome of ride or die, because she wasn't why aren't you home? She was like, is it bad? How bad is it? Are you gonna be a day or are you gonna be a couple days? Like, she knew like the protocol from the jump, and I was here for it.
Like all those guys.
I'm glad they gave that dynamic as well, rather than have like the annoying wife. Like they're a true team. They're an actual partnership, and it's like, of course, like someone like him would have to have a partner like that. Like, it just wouldn't make sense any other way.
Oh yeah, and and again the friendship that she knew about Hawkeye and Natasha's friendship and everything, and she knew what he was about. She knew what he was about, like you said. But I also want to touch up with how the show opened, which I thought was really cool, and it kind of shows how Kate became a Hawkeye stan, like a Hawkeye big fan. How did you guys feel about seeing the Battle of New York again? How did you guys feel about that?
I got goosebumps every time they do any sort of flashback that takes you back. It just reminds you when you first saw it and just how big and different it was at the time. Like,
it was good. It was good to see how one single family would deal in that situation that we never saw in the actual Avengers series.
Yeah.
But that one shot of a little girl running through the whole house was just amazing. I love that one shot of her just following the little girl, like screaming. It's like, yes. The suspense, and that was awesome.
Brings it back to reality. Like, you're watching Avengers, you see all the explosions, you see buildings falling apart, but we never see what's inside the building. We don't see the person behind that wall running for their kids or looking for their, someone.
That's Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
But
Marvel's like, nah, we don't need to see that. Zach's like, you got to see all the bodies falling, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh,
no, it's really cool that they decided, you take that collateral damage that is happening in the city and then making it a pivotal point for a future Young Avenger, right? Because before the Avengers were kind of just made themselves. Either Stark had the money, there was the super soldier serum, there was the green room, there was the gamma rays, there was being God fucking of thunder, right? But like all of the Young Avengers, all of the new characters that we're seeing that are taking up these mantles, they're going through like traumatic events or life-changing events that happened while they were young, and they see it. So kind of tying it all back to 2012, I think is a great way to reuse Avengers. Like, Avengers is just a pivotal moment for the MCU, and the fact that they're able to come back to it 10 years later and just cherry pick scenes to be like, this works. We're taking this, we're going to make it run, and we're going to make it all about who Kate Bishop is, and that's it. We're not, and they use just enough. They don't drag it out.
And I always want to give props to the writing team behind Marvel. Like, they get a lot of like shit sometimes, but to write an extended series for that long, and then we have to go back to this segment or this like location for this is just amazing. Like, such a good writing team behind the whole franchise of Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, they're amazing, even though they might do a hit and miss every now and then, but to know they have to go back there is just insane. Like,
especially the Disney Plus series.
Yeah,
all of them. I've loved them. Like, I know,
connected so well.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a couple. Well, I say a couple, probably one. Like WandaVision, which I think was kind of polarizing for people, but I just thought the writing was astounding. I think like all the Disney Plus series of like Marvel's put out, I've been a big fan of.
Oh, good.
No, I want to put because again, I want to put something out there, and I'm gonna give everyone a Marvel scavenger hunt. So there was something when looking up stuff for this episode, and then I was just looking at other Marvel properties. So there's an actor by the name of Tony McCarthy who plays an uncredited prisoner in Black Widow. I noticed that this actor, and I'm going to ask people this, if you think that he's going to be a glorified extra, or does he have like a minor back and roll with what they were doing? Because he's going to be in Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, The Marvels, and the Secret Invasion TV series, and the Secret Invasion TV series, he's listed as an alien. So I don't know if he's going to be a Skrull to lead into Secret Invasion, or if he's going to. What do you got? Yeah,
to make Secret Invasion work.
Really good friends with someone, and they're like, "Come here, buddy, come on, put me in."
Yeah, and like to make Secret Invasion work, they need to have all of these Skrulls in all of these shows, so that when you watch it, you're like, "Holy shit, he was there!" Like it's because Secret Invasion, it's already like it's already it's an ambitious project in and of itself, which is why you're doing it as a show and not a movie. Yeah. But for it to really stick, those Skrull characters have to be already in place.
Yeah,
like they have to be to really tie it all together. So. To your point, Seabass, I'm sure he's a Skrull.
100%. A Skrull. I think like they're fully prepared to be like, that guy's a Skrull, this person's a Skrull. They've been there the whole time. I'm willing to bet, ever since we like learned that Nick Fury wasn't Nick Fury, that they're gonna have characters like we talked about like weeks ago that. People have the theory, is that Doctor Strange the real Doctor Strange? But like those theories are going to come up and be really, tangible with like stuff like Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah. So I know Disney and Marvel, and again, this goes to what you guys are saying, Free Fall Comics looking to push the boundaries and everything with storytelling. And Law brought this up. This was a good point that you pointed out too, Law, earlier in the week when we were talking about it. They're definitely, with the Disney Plus shows, we got Falcon and Winter Soldier earlier in the year, and one of the things we saw is how Falcon was dealing with being a hero in the world, with a loan being denied, having issues with paying off a home. But then now we're in Hawkeye, and one of the things they showcase is that people are paying for his dinner, he's getting chauffeured around. And I mean, so did you guys know, and I'm sorry with Free for Comments, did you notice that different dynamic that they were doing, that storytelling of what those heroes were dealing with?
Yeah, definitely think they're trying to tell a little bit of a story with each single series that comes out. I think it's for him, it's like he doesn't really want that kind of reaction from people. He definitely wants to be on his own sort of thing, but he's kind of forced into it by being a hero. And I think it's great that they show that side of him. It's like, I don't want the attention, But yeah, they definitely do a good job of that.
They did.
I mean, and I think.
Look, I probably didn't notice because I feel like I haven't watched Winter, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, in so long.
Yeah,
like I feel like I need to go through and kind of rewatch to kind of be, spotting those sort of similarities or differences. But. Yeah, over my head.
I think it was definitely. I'll let you take that because I know you definitely saw that and you put that. I was like, I didn't think about that.
I actually, as with most things, I saw it on TikTok. Someone make the comparison, and I was like, holy shit! That's so odd that they. Well, not even odd. Like I wouldn't put it past Marvel to do something like that because they've been known to show those kind of what seems far off from each other, but they're actually keeping within themes of these heroes and these stories. So showing where Sam wasn't recognized and he's this decorated, highly, soldier, and everyone knows he's an Avenger, but everyone doesn't recognize him. They're like, oh, you're a football player. But yet Hawkeye is like, oh my God, it's you, blah, 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 this, that, and third. Like the regular guy is like, and I don't want it. I don't want it. Like you really see it not just in that first scene where he's getting paid for the food, but when he's at the LARPing session, and the guy is just he's like, but you're Hawkeye, like you gotta let me have this, and he's just like, bro, you're at a 12. Yeah. I'm gonna be pointing that all the way down.
That was a fucking great scene that made me laugh. Yeah,
absolutely.
So who would go LARPing with Hawkeye? I want to know who would be his opponent.
I mean, with him, he doesn't seem like he wants to be there.
Yeah.
I'd be on his team, but I wouldn't be against him. Hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shot of him just walking through, so nonchalant, tap.
I love how and shot in slow motion. It's like, we would have seen if they were real weapons, but it's not.
He's like, I fought the Yakuza. Like, I don't understand. like in Life or Death situations, I was fighting like 10 motherfuckers with swords and Uzis. Like this is nothing.
Not even the Yakuza. I fought the Chitauri. Like what are we doing?
Or as he said, I fought Thanos.
Yeah.
Great.
Bro, it was a beautiful scene. Who I hope, I don't know if that line was written or if he ad-libbed it when the guy was like, "You gotta let me have it." He's like, "I fought Thanos." He just looks up in the air and says that.
Yeah. And it showed that he was having fun. I love that how he was actually enjoying it in a way. He kind of like, yeah, he's enjoying this. I'm trying to hide it though.
And so what's actually interesting though about that scene too is that Hawkeye is like, I'm not trying to be a hero, and he saved the world, but the guy he's fighting against wants to be a hero, and he's like, this is the best I can do, but he's a firefighter. So and who was a real hero, in like New York City firefighter, like that's like that you already go into that and like you're considered a hero, especially when you go and you do your job and you do everything you have to do. So I thought that's a really and I'm sure that was probably done on purpose for the person he had to fight for, to say that, for it to be that, because these are real life heroes and Marvel is make believe superheroes and stuff. So, and they not have that self-confidence that, they're not looking at what they do as heroic deeds versus what they're looking at what the Avengers are doing.
Yeah.
So I want to, there was one thing I did notice too in this show, which was pretty cool, is that we had a debut of another Marvel character. And that was Jacques. I'm not going to say last name. I'm going to let everyone know I butcher names.
It's the Swordsman. Just be like,
it's the Swordsman. Yes, the Swordsman has made his debut in the MCU.
And we got to talk about our homegirl Kate Bishop, bro. Like, we can't just be.
We're gonna go. Kate is the main event. But we got to talk about her new stepdad. So how does it feel to see this? And just to let people know, so Swordsman has a rich history with the Avengers in the comics. He's been known to have trained Hawkeye, work with him. He has been a villain. He has been a hero. He's been a double agent. He's had a crush on Scarlet Witch. He's also pretty much had a relationship with Mantis and was killed by a Kang variant, Ramatut. So how do we feel now that we'll start with free fall comments? How do we feel now that we have now another Marvel character that has a rich history in the MCU introduced?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I actually had to go back and look it up. I was like, who is this guy? And I actually Googled it and stuff. I don't know, he comes across as too hateable.
Yes.
I think it's weird. Like, cliche hateable. I was like, there has to be something going on there. He's even not that hateable. He's actually a good guy playing a bad guy. But I would really keen to see where they take it.
You think so?
I don't know. It's Disney. Who knows what they're doing? They're always pushing something.
No, he's just a smug motherfucker.
Yeah, I know he's too smug. Yeah.
I feel salesman vibes from him. I feel like he's trying to sell me, talk about my used car warranty.
Because he's broke.
Yeah, that's right. He's got those shark eyes and that big grin, and it's just like, it's all bullshit. It's all fake.
He's got a glorious mustache. It's all.
That whole fencing scene where I'm like, it's almost like he's wearing prosthetics. There's just something not right about his face. I just don't like it. I mean, apologies to the actor if that's his head, but I don't like it.
He plays the character as well, like you said, the fencing scene, and how Kate, which we will lead into Kate after this one, and it tells about her skill that she was able to tell that he was holding back.
Yeah,
in that fencing scene.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It definitely. First of all, let's talk about how well they rewrote, and they've done it a lot in the MCU, where they rewrote a lot of people's origins, but they did it so well with her origin, and then made her like an expert in almost everything. Because I think before, she had like minor expertise, and she learned stuff later on in the comics. I haven't read it, but I remember hearing about like a history of. But seeing her now, where first of all, let's piggyback, or let's go back to her breaking the bell.
Well, before we even touch that, like what I really liked about the show is the title intro, because they made it a point that we don't like, you know, most of the time you don't really need to see how these people got these skills and all this stuff. And people are like, oh, well, Mary Sue or whatever fucking stupid ass terms you want to use for these people. But I love that the intro after the funeral, you see it, and it's really just about her doing karate, taekwondo, archery, gymnastics, like everything, and like her starting it and her going from third to second to first. Like you don't need to talk about it, but you just spend your 3 minutes in your title card showcasing her journey from 2012 to 2022 or whatever, and how she's honed herself. And while she is probably an expert on paper in a very formal setting, so on the mat, on the bars, in competition, she's going to be learning the street side of things, which is going to be that dynamic that she's going to get from Clint. You know, like when she shoots the fire extinguisher and it goes all fucking crazy, where Clint would have been like, all right, I know where to shoot this with my arrow for it to go where it needs to go and not do this. Right. So like there are going to be those practical lessons she's going to learn from him, which I'm really excited for, because she has such a strong foundation in like the basics and the techniques and everything. So it's going to be a really dope transformation for her as she takes on the mantle.
Rather than just rather than just some quick training montage and she just comes out of like a month of training. It was a clever way to show a backstory within a few seconds. Like it was just so well done. I actually went back. I was like, I should probably watch that again, because there's a whole series, like a whole episode just in that opening scene that you could watch and go, okay, this happened and this happened. It was just so good storytelling. Yeah, good storytelling. Yeah.
It's like how you just tell what we need to tell. Like we don't need to see it, but you tell us in a way. But to your point, Law, the bell, that was a great way to open up who Kate Bishop is.
Yeah, like you 100% get the vibes of like, I'm just in it for the lulz. Like I'm in it for the laughs, and like, you know, they were like, can we do it? It's a bet. I'm not gonna back down on a bet. Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
So full send. I'm here for it.
There's nothing good that comes out of something like that. Someone's mouth's like, fuck it, it's a bet. I'm not gonna back down. We all know what happens with that.
Fun fact about that bell tower, that library. It's I think it's on purpose. It's called the Stain Tower or the Stain Bell
Obadiah
or something,
Stane.
and it's named after Obadiah Stane. So which is actually really a fun fact about that. Now it's come crashing down because they didn't he didn't get cancel cultured in 2007. After being the Ironmonger,
right?
Is that at the end of the day, it goes back to what you guys have pointed out, is that Marvel storytelling. And I'm just gonna put it out there. I want to see Kevin Feige's books, his whiteboard of how all this is interconnecting right there, because there's just a lot of interconnection there and a lot of like eye candy for fans, especially with the last 10 years of Marvel stuff. And we still got stuff coming out with Spider-Man, which
I'm fairly certain that Dave Filoni and Kevin Feige are like this generation's Spielberg and oh man, who was his rival? Why am I blanking? George Lucas.
Yep.
I feel like they have that same energy of like, all right, I do it this way, you can do it this way.
I'm just happy that we have those versions of a person who cares about the source material in Marvel for the MCU and for Star Wars, because we desperately needed it for Star Wars, and if Dave Filoni was in charge of the sequel trilogy, we would have had different things to say about it. Anyway, so
Lucas, Brian, I want to ask you guys. So we see Kate Bishop's mother, Eleanor Bishop, and Armand arguing. What do you guys think they were arguing about? Do you guys want to care to speculate on that, or?
I don't know.
He gave her too many butterscotches.
Of the characters to like give my opinion, but there's definitely something sus going on with the mother. I feel,
she's another weird one.
Do you think she knows more than she's letting on?
Oh yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
It was her in the library with the sword that stabbed Armand because he gave her butterscotch.
Pretty much my guess.
I mean, I feel like that's too dirty for her to be doing that. I think it's too dirty for her to do it, but I think it's too on the nose, especially with the comic book history of the swordsman to have killed his uncle, right? So do we is it like on the nose that he killed him, even though we know he can be he tends to kind of go for whatever kind of works in his own way. That's why he tends to go from good guy to bad guy. And so it's to make you think it's him, for us to kind of find out whether it's someone, or it could just be him and he's the bad guy. I don't know.
So I mean,
we're pulling all these characters and they're gonna do what they want to do with them.
Like this early on, it just feels like
It's too hard, too soon to tell.
when something opens up and everyone's going, definitely that guy.
Yeah.
It's never going to be that guy. Like,
Yeah,
or if it is, then I'm like, not great storytelling.
so I want to throw some stuff in there real quick. So give you guys something to definitely dig up, because I know that they're saying Kingpin is going to make his appearance. She may have connections to Kingpin, which were all like this. But the family dynamic is different compared to the comics, because in the comics, Kate has a sister, Susan Bishop, which we don't see in the show. And I think they may introduce some version of her maybe down the line, because we get that her father was killed off, but in the comics it was reversed. It was her mother that was killed off, but her mother actually wasn't dead. Her mother was working for Madame Moscow, another villain in the Marvel universe who had ties, I guess, like that she fought like Iron Man and Captain America and stuff like that. So do you think that they're reversing those roles in the Hawkeye show, where the father will be working with someone, or they're just writing the father's character out completely because he didn't really do anything in the comics, and that her mother is actually working maybe with a version of Madame Moscow that they're going to introduce, or maybe working with the Kingpin? Speculations thrown out there, because I know or here's the third one. She could be working with Mephisto. Okay, there we go. I said it.
Ignore that one. Ignore that one.
But I love that Steve Ass is just like softball pitching, like fan theories, and like, hey, dive down the rabbit hole. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna warn you guys now. I do that a lot. I give rabbit holes, so I want to get you guys' thoughts, please. Free fall.
I don't know if it's so much what I think or what I want, but I'm leaning towards Kingpin.
Yeah,
There's going to be Kingpin ties.
Yeah,
between her and
it's what I want more than what I think's going to happen. Is Kingpin coming into it? Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you don't introduce Echo and be like, and you don't get Kingpin.
Yeah.
Right? Like, come on. Like, there's so much there for it. And like, and the fact that Echo's getting her own show, and maybe, to speculate back to you, Seabass, potentially if Kate Bishop and Echo will then maybe have that sort of sisterly relationship. We don't know. Because would Marvel give a villain their own show? Because Loki is an anti-hero at this point now, right? Like, he's not a villain. And she also eventually takes up the Echo eventually takes up the mantle of Ronin. So like, we don't know what her journey is going to be. So we'll see. She's getting her own show.
I'd argue that Marvel would not. Well, I'd argue that Disney would not put out a villain show, but Marvel would.
Okay. But House of Mouse, we got to go by House of Mouse.
Yeah, House of Mouse rules.
House of Mouse, yeah.
They're playing with mouse money, like that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're gonna do. I think, because they don't want to oversaturate all the characters that we're gonna have, because we're gonna also have Yelena's also gonna be in the show too. So you don't want to just give Kate
4 episodes.
Give Kate a sister just to give her a sister, when there are these other really great female characters where she can have a strong bond with, and that ends up being something, especially if Yelena and Kate end up going to the next round of Avengers, right? So we really don't know, and I think they pull the characters and they morphed them into other ones, and kind of just to fill those blanks.
So
I'd be leaning towards that theory. I reckon that's really solid.
I think it would be. I mean, yes, Disney did do Maleficent, but she became anti-hero. But I just want to throw this.
Maleficent ain't turned into no fucking dragon. I'm not here for it.
Savage Toad.
And lady.
Oh, Corella. Okay. Yes, Pong. Pong, you're coming on for episode 4, just to let you know, because you have that seat. We warm it up for you, bro.
So is it episode 4 or week 4?
Episode 4.
Episode 4. I feel like it's always episode 4 for Pong.
So just a quick mention out there so that people know out there in the land of the internets, Moira Brandon has kind of made her MCU debut. For those who don't know Moira Brandon, she is one of the people who've actually gave the Avengers a mansion, so we may be getting Avengers Mansion down the line from Moira Brandon. She also has ties to Hawkeye and Mockingbird. So we don't know if we're ever going to get Mockingbird because we got her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We don't know if she'll make her MCU debut.
A lot of people pull stuff back because
they're probably going to roll some of that stuff back that they did on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's a whole. We'll talk about that mess later. But I want to get to the main event. I want to get to the main event, and then I want to get to the plug for Freefall Comics to
before we do the main event, because you had mentioned that Moira had provided the Avengers with a lodging. Who bought the tower?
Who bought
the tower? That's what we need to know.
Yo, there's only but like a handful of people.
There's only two people. It's either going to be the new Baxter or it's going to be Kang. Like that's it. That's really like all.
You think Kang would buy the?
Well, because remember in Loki in the other worlds there was an Avengers tower that was the Kang Tower because the Kang Corporation.
Right. Oh shit.
Because they haven't shown the Stark logo in that tower. Like you only see like the top up until the name. They haven't shown it. We don't know.
I was gonna argue that they were gonna have it be the new Oscorp building. Because that's a possibility too.
It just I don't know how much Spider-Man they can weave into the MCU without Spider-Man. So like it feels
they've already signed up for 3 more movies.
No. I know they signed up for 3 more movies, but like when it comes to Spider-Man, like all the other Avengers can have their stuff weaved in and out of the movies because Marvel like owns it. When it comes to Spider-Man, it's very much like everyone can show up in Spider-Man, but there isn't a lot of Spider-Man stuff that we see in the other movies. Like whatever his antics are, whatever you don't really see it. So I don't know if they'd be able to do that.
I think
it'd be cool. It'd be cool, and I think it would be plausible for Oscorp to buy the building because it's Norman, and he is somewhat of a scientist himself. I
think we'll find out in the Spider-Man movie. But yeah, Freefall. What do you guys think? Who do you think purchased the Avengers Tower? Whose name you want to throw out there in the hat?
I said Fantastic Four have something to do with it. That's what I put out there. Again, I don't know too much of the backstory, but I just had a feeling or a hunch that Fantastic Four might come into it soon. That's who bought the tower as well. Yeah, they got something to do with it for sure.
Yeah, I was leaning towards that or Oscorp, but I'm starting to agree more with what you just said. Like, I don't know if they would weave that much Spidey universe into the Marvel universe, even though they jump back and forth sometimes. I'm leaning towards it's going to be the new Fantastic Four building.
The Kingpin wouldn't be that ballsy to buy a tower that
he would.
Grandiose.
He would.
Like, would he?
He would.
To brand it? No.
Yeah, not to brand it, but to buy it just for a show.
Well, think about it. Wilson Fisk, even though he is a criminal overlord, at one major point in the comics, he was also a philanthropist that was well loved by the people.
Yeah.
So it could be a big way. Who knows? But I pick Howard the Duck because we're gonna make that a thing, especially.
And that's what we do when Seabass goes on his wild rants. Because,
Listen, I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun with it.
I love your fun. Why are you switching yourself back?
Because
it doesn't matter. Anyway, so while we speculate on who bought the tower, and I got to throw another one. Maybe it was Doom. But anyway, while we speculate on who bought the tower, there was a main event that Seabass you wanted to touch about. So let's get to that. Before we
the main event is Kate Bishop. I want to know how everybody felt about Kate Bishop. Kate, she did a phenomenal job. World Summer Freefall. How do you guys feel about?
Haley is insane. I think she's very underrated. Like I just watched Arcane. I didn't realize that she was actually the voice actor for V, the sister. I was like, I've heard that voice before, and then I went and watched like Disney's like that's a link, and I think she's. Yeah, amazing performer, like actress-wise.
And she's also Spider-Gwen.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, working well. Yeah, I think she pulled off so well. Yeah, and she was fun. She's funny. She's got a dry sense of humor, and just something. I think she brings something different to the teenage characters that are coming into the Marvel world. Young adult sort of thing. Yeah.
No, I'm just a fan. I thought she was a well-written character. I thought she nailed the role, and I liked watching her on screen. I thought she was. Yeah, enjoyable.
I want her to be the leader of the Young Avengers when they finally assemble them together. She did.
Whoever has the money leads the Avengers. So,
and it'll be cool to see where she comes from now to become a leader because right now she's not She's not a leader. She
Right.
needs that from.
She's got to go through some shit first.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And they really make it like even when she fell through the roof, like all of her antics that she's doing, all of what she's doing in front of Hawkeye, like trying to be Hawkeye, and even just like trying to learn, like, oh, what are you going to teach me?
That
You
was
show me this, you show me this,
another
like
that cracked me up.
yeah, their whole vibe, their relationship, how she looks up to him, and you see it.
And there's good chemistry.
And he's just like, oh my god, I just want to go home.
If you text me for anything other than an emergency, like I will block and delete your number.
Yeah, like it's very much how we would expect Hawkeye to be in that situation, especially because it has to do with his family, because he needs to go back home. Whereas in Ultron, when he gives Scarlet, when he gives her the pep talk, he was like, you know, listen, we're here. We got to fight these robots. I'm shooting arrows. Like, I'm not going to babysit you. You're either going to come out and you're going to be an Avenger, or you can just sit here. And then he goes, right? And like, because he's like in the work, where here it's like, I'm not doing this. I got 5 days. I made an empty promise to my daughter. I need to get home.
I think it's actually over the whole like Avengers thing as well. It kind of seems like he just wants to get out and just live a normal life.
Yeah.
And
especially after Endgame. I don't think after you go through what he went through in Endgame that he wants to suit up anymore. Like he wants to do any of this.
I mean, Michael Gracia gave his theory. He thinks Hawkeye's going to die at the end of the series, but I don't know. They're going to have him walk off in the sunset, which is what people want for Hawkeye's character. I
genuinely hope so, because that man just deserves it. Like,
he deserves it. I don't want to see him die.
I don't think so. I mean, it would be really a disservice to save him from Endgame to kill him in his own show.
Yeah.
I want to see him having Christmas dinner at the end of this,
and that's last saving.
Yeah.
Here's the $1 million question: do you guys feel that this is up there with Die Hard as a Christmas show movie?
I mean,
wait till we get to the bigger action scene.
Yeah,
I need a yippee-ki-yay motherfucker moment first. And if I get it, then yes. If I don't get it,
Reddit could fucking deliver that line too. If someone out there in little internet world, if someone can just make that happen for me, at
the very end,
from your mouth to the internet's ears, and let it be done.
Deep fake his face over Bruce Willis's from Die Hard. There you go.
I mean, all the other pop culture stuff.
A scene like in Hawkeye for me, it'd fucking work.
All the other pop culture stuff is there. You know, they talked about Star Wars. They've talked about Marvin Gaye. Like Die Hard has happened in the MCU, and I'm sure Jeremy Renner has watched it multiple. I'm sure Hawkeye has watched it multiple times.
Yeah, just reference it in the. I'll be happy.
That's it.
But now, Peter Parker's always referencing fucking movies. Let's let.
Yo, for real.
That's right. They did reference Hunger Games.
Yeah, Hunger Games reference.
But now, so just to let everyone know, again, this has been our episode talking about Hawkeye. We have Freefall Comics, so we want you guys to go back, watch this episode on demand to learn more about Freefall Comics and their comic Roundhouse Hooligans. It is in the description. We put it there. So now we're going to go into our next segment called The Plug. So we're going to give you guys the mic right now to pretty much plug away everything that you guys are doing. So we're going to give you guys the where is it? Oh man, where is it? It's not here. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Law. You guys got the solo.
Big screen now. You want me to go? Okay, so we Brian, Lucas, LA Keim, Freefall Comics. We are an Australian indie publishing company. We just started out. Our first series is Roundhouse Hooligans, as you already know. It was so much fun to write. A big challenge to write. We know that the world's going to love it. It's just all about putting it out there and getting you all to read it, because we know you will love it. And
Kickstarter coming early next year. It's going to be lots of cool little extras in there that's currently not available in the digital version. So, Freefall Comics. Check it out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You'll be able to stay up to date with everything we're doing and find out first there when we're going to be launching the Kickstarter and all our other new projects, which we're currently still working on in the background.
Also coming out in 2022.
Awesome. Thank you guys again. Thank you guys again for coming on with us, sharing with nerds, and just nerding out with us. So this has been another awesome episode. This has been your. Love you guys. I'm sorry. But this has been another episode of Nerds and Rounds, guys. This has been your boy Sebastian.
It's your boy Law.
Anybody Tone from across the hall.
See you next Tuesday.
Later, everybody.
Yeah. See you guys.
Bye.